Yes, one of the shortest chapters of the book, chapter 43, and the lie that is Abdul Sharif, the man who said that Tariq was dead. All this and more today on the Honors World Literature Beat with 1,000 Splendid Suns, hosted by the man, the myth, the legend, the public school teacher, me, Coach Hall. 43 is only 2 pages, so we're going to just talk about that real quick. All we really need to see here are two things. First of all, Mariam figures out who the doorman was at the hotel. It was Tariq. What that means is Mariam was led to believe that Tariq was dead as well. Meaning Rasheed told Mariam and Lila and anyone else that would listen that Tariq was dead. But all along, he had hired Abdul Sharif he had paid him to come and basically be an actor and describe Tariq's death, which ended up being untrue. What this really tells Mariam is it goes to show the depth of Rasheed's evil. And if we were ever going to defend Rasheed, not that we ever would, but I'm saying in those earlier chapters where it's like, well, maybe, Rasheed is not so bad because, maybe he's a product of his environment, and all those things may still be true, but this is inexcusable, I think, and I'm with Mariam on this. Can he be a little violent? Is he a gross smoker? Is he a user and abuser of women and people? Is he selfish? Is he out to get only what he wants? Yes, 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 yes. But it's almost like if he grew up in a harsh, ultra religious household out in the country and he's kind of had these horrible things happen to him in regards to his first wife and his first son. We could almost make an excuse for Rasheed. I wouldn't. I'm just saying you could. But this man, this just goes to show you the debt. He's willing to pay a guy to come in and talk about how Tariq is dead just so that Lila would be then vulnerable enough as a 14-year-old girl to marry Rasheed. Why? Because Rasheed wanted to have a son that he was clearly not getting from Mariam. So, that's really what that chapter is about. That in Zalmai, we see a little bit of Rasheed in Zalmai, and there's some danger in that. However, it's I guess you could argue it's nurture versus nature, depending on where you stand on this. I think that no matter who you are as a reader here, you think that Zalmai has too much of his father in him genetically to ever overcome that, and that Zalmai is destined to kind of be a bad dude because of who he is and those Rasheed genetics are in him. Or you could be more on my side. I'm more of a nurture. I don't think it's too late for Zalmai. He's what? I don't even know how old he is here. 4 or 5. I don't even know if he's that old. He's a young boy, and he is still. Yes, damage is being done to him psychologically by his father. However, he's young enough to where if Lila were to be able to raise him in a vacuum without Rasheed, and whether that's true at this point in the book or not, we can't really tell. But if she's able to raise Zalmai without Rasheed's influence, I think Zalmai has a chance to be a good dude. And there's plenty of evidence out there about good people that were raised by bad parents, and they ended up becoming. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's true because that would go against nurture. That have bad genetics in regards to how bad that maybe one mother or one father is, and they still end up being good people. So there you go. All it takes is a nurturer like Lila and Mariam to help raise Zalmai into being a fine, upstanding young man. Chapter 44 is a confusing chapter at first when you first get on the narrative, but it makes sense as it goes. It's back and forth. It goes to Tariq and Lila's conversation, which is really interesting because we learn a little bit more about where Tariq has been. He is not dead. He still has his one artificial limb, but he also has one very good working leg. He's strong, he's big, he's really grown up, and he even has Alyona. And Alyona is the other love of Tariq's life. And as saddened as we are to hear about Alyona, we are quickly brought back to life in that Alyona is a goat. Alyona is Tariq's pet goat, so don't worry. Tariq's parents Tariq's parents are dead. Gosh, that darn always forget. Sorry, emails. I always forget to just close out my email when I'm doing these. Anyway, Tariq is living in Pakistan. His parents are dead, but we also got to remember that a few years ago now, gosh, almost a decade ago, his parents were already kind of older, and his father had already had some heart problems. So we're not totally surprised by that, but they weren't killed horrifically like, Rasheed's actor had led them to believe, had led Lila to believe. But anyway, he's working in Muri, a sleepy little mountain town in Pakistan. Actually, I've never been there, but from what I understand, it's quite beautiful, quite a lovely little town. And he's just working as a janitor. And you may think, like, as a janitor, man, look, he has his own place. He's able to live kind of on campus there where the hotel is, so he doesn't have to commute to work. He doesn't need a car or anything like that. He's able to live in his apartment there. He's able to go to work, 9 to 5, regular paycheck. He does a good job, and he is stable. I mean, that's pretty good. He's getting all the benefits of regular employment. And honestly, growing up in Kabul with one leg, if I'm Tariq and I'm running from terrorism, to come out at the end, to come out a decade later with that life is pretty good. He's living pretty well. Anyway, we learn about all these things, and interspersed within the dialogue is Zalmai, who's young and naive and innocent. He's not, trying to harm his mother here, but basically spills the beans at dinner time that Mammy has a new friend. Rasheed looked up, oh, does she now? And so as the conversation goes back and forth, the more we learn about Tariq, still kind of talks about his life in Pakistan. It wasn't always great. And Lila is able to kind of catch him up on what things are like for her there. And Rasheed is starting to figure out with Zalmai that this conversation that occurred was with Tariq. He has a limp. Is this who I think it is? Rasheed, and you didn't, one of the scariest Rasheed moments as far as that startle moment, if this were a movie, this would maybe be a jump scare, is when Rasheed said, and you didn't lie to me. You think I didn't figure it out about your harami. You take me for a fool. And goes on to say a few things. Remember, harami is kind of a negative word for Aziza. He knows Aziza's not his. He knew it then. He knew something was going on with Tariq. So he's like, you lied to me. And Lila's like, you lied to me. And there's back and forth. Lila just wants to be with Tariq, and we can't blame her. It's the love of her life. Also, it is, it's not just the love of her life, and that can't be understated. That is important. But we also understand that her current situation is so bad. So it's really both of those things. And yeah, we love Mariam. And yeah, we love Mariam. But other than Mariam and Aziza, look, Aziza's not even there because Aziza's at the orphanage right now. So Aziza's at an orphanage. You got Mariam, you have Zalmai, but otherwise you're married to Rasheed. So, despite the fact that you have some blessings in your life, it's a bad situation. So now you see the love of your life who is living a very stable life in Pakistan, where you wanted to flee 9 years ago anyway. It brings back a lot of feelings for Lila. I don't think we blame her there, but she's torn, man. What if this ends up coming back to hurt Tariq? She also feels guilty about separating Zalmai from his father. she remembers the really, really bad abuse she suffered when Aziza was a toddler, when they tried to escape last time and Rasheed caught her, or she was found out, and Rasheed had, I mean, basically locked her in a room for 3 days without food or water, and really, in a way, tried to kill Aziza, if you think about it like that. So, man, it's just a lot for Lila to consider. Last little bit we get with Rasheed is Rasheed realizes that Mariam was in on this in regards to Tariq's conversation, because it's like, okay, so you weren't wearing your burqa, meaning this man, this stranger, came into our life and looked at my wife's face, which is against Rasheed's principles. You did not wear your burqa. You were in my home while I was out working, I guess you could say. This guy was in my home, and sorry, I lost my train of thought there. This guy was in my home while I was out working, and you weren't wearing a burqa. And also, where was my son during all this? Oh, he was upstairs with Mariam, and Mariam knew about it. So Mariam and Lila worked together to have Tariq in the household without Rasheed's knowledge, and Rasheed would have never found out had Zalmai not mentioned it to his father at dinner. So finally, guys, we've made it to chapter 45, and this isn't the last chapter of the book, but this is a big one. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause it for a second. So anyway, kind of an interesting place to pause. We get to this. We get to this big chapter. It's chapter 45. Like I just said, it's not the last chapter of the book, but it is a big one. Things are coming to a head here. Something's got to give. Okay, 51 chapters in the book. Okay, this is chapter 45, and we're still with Aziza at the orphanage, Tariq back in town, Rasheed still abusive both of his wives, and now he is given reason to kill both of them, like he said he would do last time when they tried to escape. And you got little Zalmai there as well. Taliban is running things still. Like, something has to give. And so we get to chapter 45. What is Rasheed going to do next? And chapter 45 is from Mariam's perspective, and I encourage you to read that. We will probably spend tomorrow's video just on chapter 45. If you haven't read it, run, don't walk to your textbook, to your book, and read that chapter. It's I mean, without giving anything away, it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile in regards to things that occur, and I hope you guys will find it interesting. And that's all I can really say about that. As far as all of this stuff going on, if you're watching this movie, I wish there were a movie of this. If you're watching a movie of this, this would be the moment where you're kind of like on the edge of your seat. Okay, you don't want to go to the bathroom because this is such an interesting part of the book. And or the movie, and that's kind of where we find ourselves for tomorrow's video, and we'll talk about it then. So anyway, I'm done for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys are well, and yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, as always. See ya.